Red meat such as beef, lamb, and pork plays a central role in many traditional diets and is often promoted for its ability to provide complete protein, highly bioavailable iron, zinc, and a wide spectrum of B vitamins that support muscle maintenance, oxygen transport, and neurological function. From a nutritional adequacy standpoint, red meat can be very effective at preventing deficiencies, particularly in people with higher protein needs or limited food variety. However, when gout or elevated uric acid enters the picture, the risk profile of red meat changes significantly, and its downsides become more important than its strengths. The main concern is purine load. Red meat contains substantially more purines than most white meats, eggs, dairy, or plant-based protein sources. These purines are broken down into uric acid, and for people with impaired urate excretion or a genetic tendency toward hyperuricemia, regular consumption can steadily raise baseline uric acid levels. Large epidemiological studies consistently show that higher intake of red meat is associated with increased gout risk and more frequent gout flares. This association is dose-dependent, meaning that risk rises not just with extreme intake, but also with habitual, seemingly moderate portions consumed day after day. What makes red meat particularly problematic is how easily portions creep upward. Restaurant servings, grilled steaks, and mixed dishes often deliver far more than the recommended 3 to 4 ounces in a single meal. A single large steak can contain as much purine load as several meals' worth of lower-risk proteins. For someone with gout, this can push uric acid levels high enough to trigger an attack within hours to days. Even when symptoms do not appear immediately, repeated exposure contributes to chronically elevated urate, increasing the long-term risk of joint damage, tophi formation, and kidney stones. Another issue is that red meat is frequently consumed alongside other gout-promoting factors. Alcohol, especially beer, is commonly paired with red meat meals and independently raises uric acid while impairing its excretion. Rich sauces, gravies, and broths made from meat drippings concentrate purines further, creating a combined effect that is far more potent than the meat alone. High-calorie red meat dishes also contribute to weight gain and insulin resistance, both of which reduce the kidney's ability to eliminate uric acid efficiently. This metabolic overlap helps explain why gout often coexists with obesity, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Beyond gout-specific concerns, there are broader health risks that reinforce the need for caution. Regular high intake of red and especially processed red meats has been linked to increased cardiovascular disease and colorectal cancer risk. While these outcomes are not caused by purines, they matter because people with gout already carry higher cardiovascular risk on average. Relying heavily on red meat can therefore compound existing vulnerabilities rather than support overall long-term health. Lean cuts do reduce saturated fat intake, but they do not significantly lower purine content. This means that choosing lean beef or pork helps heart health but does not eliminate gout risk. Similarly, switching from beef to lamb or pork does not provide meaningful protection, as all red meats share a relatively high purine burden compared with white meats and plant proteins. For people who are sensitive, even carefully chosen cuts in modest amounts can still provoke symptoms if eaten too frequently. From a practical management perspective, red meat is best treated as a limited food rather than a daily staple for anyone with gout or high uric acid. Keeping portions small, roughly 3 to 4 ounces per serving, and reducing frequency to a few times per week or less can significantly lower risk. During active gout flares, red meat is best avoided altogether, as the body is already in an inflammatory state and less able to handle additional uric acid load. Hydration becomes especially important when red meat is consumed, as adequate fluid intake supports renal uric acid clearance, though it cannot fully counteract a high purine meal. The nutrients found in red meat can be obtained through safer alternatives. Eggs, low-fat dairy, tofu, tempeh, beans, lentils, nuts, seeds, and whole grains can provide high-quality protein and many essential micronutrients with far lower purine impact. Iron needs can be met through moderate amounts of poultry or fish lower in purines, fortified plant foods, and strategic pairing of plant iron sources with vitamin C to enhance absorption. Some fish do contain high purine levels, but others are more gout-friendly and can be rotated carefully into the diet. In the long term, the goal for people with gout is not complete nutritional perfection in any single meal, but maintaining stable uric acid levels over time. Regular large servings of red meat work against this goal, even when the meat itself is high quality and minimally processed. By reducing portion sizes, spacing intake, and replacing some red meat meals with lower purine protein sources, individuals with gout can still meet their nutritional needs while lowering the likelihood of painful flares and progressive joint damage. In this context, moderation is not just a general health principle, but a critical strategy for protecting joint health and preserving quality of life.